So following on from my previous collection videos, I thought I'd go into a bit more detail on some of the games and the contents of the boxes. Starting with Dynasty Warriors, which, as I said previously, is a terrible, terrible game. However, something funny about it is, despite it being incredibly simple with barely any moves whatsoever, it has one of the biggest instruction manuals I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure that's just because it's in all different languages. Maybe it just repeats itself. Yeah. So we've got about 5 different languages here for some reason. But as with many fighting games, it goes through all the moves and all that for each individual character. Similarly with Power Stone, which I bought the other day, except this is a very, very good fighting game and I just love the cover. And if you compare it to the Dynasty Warriors cover, it's a bit more of a janky PS1 era type cover where they thought that 3D graphics were really good just because they were 3D. And I just love how instructions used to have the descriptions of all the characters in the game in them. Even games like Final Fantasy introduce you to each of the characters in the instructions, which obviously we never get anymore because we never even have instructions anymore. Put this back inside its janky Dreamcast case. Here's Dissidia Duodecim for the PSP. Not sure why this is in such bad condition. I've had this a while, but I think I actually bought it like this for some reason. But inside there's these little artwork cards, which are really nice, but a bit pointless. Of course, nowadays when you download so-called collector's editions of games from Steam, such as Resident Evil 6 for instance, you get to download these kinds of artworks as a JPEG file for an extra £15 or something like that. And that's classed as a collector's edition to some of these developers. There's also these postcards from the original Dissidia, which, to be honest, are too beautiful to actually send to anyone, I would say. Next up is Xenosaga Episode 2, which includes a bonus DVD. I'm not sure what's bonus about it, to be honest, as this is literally the only version of the game you can get. But let's have a look inside. Some lovely artwork there inside. It's one of these foldy out ones. To be honest, I wish they did more games in this kind of fold out format. But of course this game has 2 game discs, so it kind of makes sense in this instance. And you can even see where I've got the game from. Retro Plushy Games. So shout out to them. Unlimited Saga is a very bizarre game that I need to do a full video on. But the good thing about it is everything about this box is just absolutely stunning. Look at the artwork along the top here, and then inside slides out. Just everything about this box is amazing. It actually gives you the descriptions of the characters inside the box, which is a nice touch. And my favourite part is probably this artwork on the instruction booklet, which is just, I mean, you don't often see artwork as nice as this on any game box, to be honest, do you? And if we turn this round, we get a bit of a sort of poster style thing on the back. Here's the collector's edition of Drakengard 3, and on the back of the box it says, "Carnage has never looked so beautiful," which is true of the box, but not necessarily true of the game. So this has a novella inside, and I've actually forgotten what else there is. Possibly a poster. Here's the novella. Let's see if we can get some juicy bits from this. Is it over yet? I've gotten tired of counting the spots on the ceiling a long time ago. I don't want to have to move on to counting the spots on the walls. No, wait, not yet. Not yet. What difference does it make when you're frigid? You could keep humping for hours and it still wouldn't feel good for you. Ha! How ironic it is to be a frigid nymphomaniac. I almost feel sorry for you. You have the appetite of 3 people but the libido of 30. Such a good little man, you deserve a reward. Where do you want it? I mentioned Drakengard in my previous video and talked a little about the censored sexual content. It seems this game kind of toned it down in some ways, in the visual aspect, but kind of implied more sexual content, which kind of got round its censorship. And of course it had tons of blood and guts in it, which wasn't censored because blood is fine and sex isn't. One last thing is this box. I absolutely love this box art. However, it doesn't have the game in it, it actually has the soundtrack. But it's not the full soundtrack, it's only soundtrack selections, which I always find a bit of a cop-out. It's kind of bullshit really when you're kind of paying for a collector's edition to get a soundtrack, but it doesn't even have all the songs on. And as always, my response to this is piracy is the way forward. Moving on to some Super Famicom games. I haven't actually opened all of these, so I'm just going to open them all now and see whichever's the most interesting. I do know that Final Fantasy V has a beautiful instruction booklet, so let's look at that first. I had never bought any SNES games before these, so I was incredibly shocked to find the amount of stuff you get in here. So let's have a look at this booklet. It's a foldy out one. Got a world map on here. And all of the job roles and descriptions. I can't even fit it on the camera, I don't think. There. I'm not sure what all this is because I can't read Japanese yet, but I'm pretty sure it's like all the abilities you unlock for all of the job classes. So basically this is explaining the entire battle system of the game in one fold out, and it's done so through, you know, nice colours, nice artwork, everything, the works basically. And now the hard part, folding it back up again. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, there we go. Done. So let's see if Final Fantasy VI can match up to that. The back of the box isn't quite as nice as Final Fantasy V. We've got this very pixelated image here. Not quite as much stuff in the box, but we might have got that if we'd have bought the game brand new. And we've just got a standard instruction booklet. So I have to say I'm a bit disappointed with Final Fantasy VI's compared to Final Fantasy V, but still a beautiful front cover nonetheless. Here's Final Fantasy IV, and once again, amazing simplistic front cover. To be honest, if I was in charge of doing the front covers, I would literally just have the logo on the front with nothing else. They're my favourite types of box covers because they're just subtle and tasteful, really. And once again, we just have the standard instruction manual here, but some great artwork and things inside. And here are, again, the descriptions of characters and things like that. Interestingly, for Final Fantasy IV, they decided to just put Square on everything instead of Squaresoft. Maybe they were thinking about changing the company name and logo at that point, but as we can see from Final Fantasy V and VI, they changed it back to Squaresoft. This Square is also on Romancing Saga, as you can see. And this one does have a fold-out instruction booklet, which is brilliant. Once again, we have the world map and some character introductions and all the intricate details of the battle system. Probably a little too much detail, if you ask me. That one was far easier to fold up as well, which is good. Romancing Saga 3, I really want to play this game simply because of this amazing box art, and if you take a look at the back, it looks pretty phenomenal as well. Shame about this sticker, I'm going to have to try and get that off without ruining the box at some point, I think, which may be impossible, unfortunately. Some more amazing artwork on the front of the instruction booklet. Let's take a look inside. All your usual stuff really, including your character introductions. So now there's just Dragon Quest V and VI. Let's see if Enix can best Squaresoft with their box contents. Dragon Quest V just has your standard instruction booklet, but a very colourful one nonetheless, and we have our world map in here as well. A few descriptions of items and equipment as well, which you don't often see in this format. In Dragon Quest VI we just have pretty much the same with the instruction booklet. Once again, the world map and your characters. So that's it, those are the more collectory games in my collection. Thanks very much for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and please check out theretroperspective.com for more.